Gin and Sin. It's Jo today, and I'll be presenting a case. And I'm here with Emily and Patty. Hello.
Hi there.
Hi. Awesome.
Hi.
So,
We're here.
yes. Hello. So let's just dive in. Today's case is that of Helen McCourt's disappearance, and even though the culprit has been caught and convicted, has the justice really been served? And we'll see. Well, we listen to me.
We'll see.
Does it ring a bell?
Yeah.
Case?
Yeah, but only because I've seen it in the magazine you were reading.
Oh, you mean this magazine, Crime Monthly?
Yeah, the darkest crimes and evil minds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it rings a bell. I don't know if I've heard of it before.
Yeah.
Perhaps I have, perhaps I haven't. What about you, Emily?
I don't know yet.
That's
Maybe.
I can't see anything.
Maybe.
Yeah, that's where I got my inspiration for the case, because I've read the article about it, and I feel it's really interesting.
I'll let you know when we get into it. I'll let you know.
Exactly. We could know something about it, but we could not.
It is an English case, so potentially you've heard about it, but it is from 1980s, so it is a bit older.
Oh, I wasn't born then.
No.
I was. 1989 I was born.
Yeah, this is from 1988, sorry.
Oh, Emily, you weren't born.
You were not born.
Look at her trying to outshine us.
You don't have an edge then, no. All right, so let's begin. So, Helen McCourt was born in Borough, Lancashire on 29th of July 1965 to Marie and William McCourt. There isn't like a lot about her background and her childhood I could find, so I'm just presuming it was fairly normal. Nothing.
Yeah, I guess maybe perhaps they just didn't concentrate on that part. Sometimes there are cases where you just really can't find anything,
And it just starts with what happened when it happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on 7th of February 1988, 2 days before she disappeared, Helen had been involved in an argument with a woman in a local pub, George and Dragon, known as the Billinge Arms, now is known as, changed its name. The fight was broken up by pub's landlord Ian Sims. After the woman calmed down, Sims banned Helen from the pub, and according to accounts of several customers, Sims used obscene language about Helen and said how much he hated her as well. So that's just a bit of a background of before she disappeared.
So she just had an argument with a woman in a pub and then got banned from that pub for having an argument.
Yes. So
was it a violent argument?
Yeah, I think there was I think Helen.
Were punches thrown?
I think so. I think Helen went to. There was something about the pictures that Helen was showing her friends, and on one of the pictures, there was a man with a woman who wasn't his wife or something. And then she went to the toilet, and the woman that was maybe next to listening to what they were saying went after her and sort of attacked her. They were a bit of a
started.
No, she didn't. No, she didn't start it. She was. Yeah, she wasn't very
confrontational.
Yeah, thank you. She was. Yeah, from what all I read about her, she was. Just a nice girl, really. Yeah.
How old was she? Oh, okay, so quite young.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of out of character for her as well. It's not like she just starts fights all the time.
Yeah. So it is worth adding that Sims, even though he was married with 2 small children, has made repeated sexual advances to Helen, which she rejected.
Of course he did.
Yeah. And to make it even more disgusting, Sims had a 21-year-old girlfriend whom he was with since the girlfriend was 18 years old, and whom he moved into the flat above the pub as well without his wife's knowledge. So there was attached to the pub, there was a flat.
Yeah, like the manager's flat.
Yeah. So Sims slept there sometimes, to sort of for security reasons.
But only sometimes.
Yeah, I don't know.
The security is only needed on particular
It
Saturdays.
was like a Friday and Saturday sort of a weekend sort of thing.
Right.
And his wife was like, I guess, fine with it. I don't have any information
Well,
about
I guess
her.
if you didn't suspect, you wouldn't have anything against it, would you?
Yeah, and they didn't live
Over
very
his
far.
house, I suppose.
Yeah,
Something to look forward to.
yeah. And they didn't live very far from the pub either. So Sims believed that Helen knew about his affair and was gossiping about this as well.
Well, I mean, he had a girlfriend living above the pub, so I can't
Yeah.
imagine it was the world's best kept secret.
No, I can't.
No,
don't
you
think-
would pick up on it, wouldn't you? You'd get the vibe.
Yeah,
Anyone
of course you
in
would.
a village or small town or whatever. Yeah.
I don't think she was so much living there. She would just be there like every night he was there, sort of thing.
Right.
Maybe I just wrote it down wrong, but she was there a lot. So
Okay.
you can't really.
But
keep
still
their
though,
secrets,
Yeah.
There was a storm on the night of 9th of February 1988 with 90 miles per hour winds, and that was the night Helen disappeared. Marie and Helen planned to meet for lunch, but due to the storm, Marie cancelled it as she was a nervous driver. So
That's fair.
Yeah, that's fair. I get that. I hate driving.
I don't mind it, but I can see why it would be.
I
not
can't
great.
drive. I can see myself being a nervous driver though, if I could. I'm a nervous walker,
yeah.
just a person in general. Anyway.
So this decision will lead to her, as in Marie, blaming herself for what happened to her daughter.
Oh no.
Oh, that's sad.
So while still at work, Helen called her mum Marie to ask if dinner could be ready a bit earlier than usual. Helen was meeting her new boyfriend that evening and wanted some extra time to get ready, wash her hair and choose her outfit and stuff.
Oh.
But when insurance clerk Helen hadn't returned from her Liverpool city centre job by 5:45 p.m, Marie started to worry. It was very unusual for Helen to not call her mum if her plans changed.
Oh no, that's not a good sign.
No,
Due to the storm, Marie thought maybe Helen got injured as the winds were very strong and Helen was very petite. He also maybe thought that like her trains were cancelled because like
Bad weather, yeah.
she would take a train and then a bus to get home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and the British Rail doesn't withstand weather very well.
And there were reports that were cancelling trains as well on that night, so maybe she thought, it might be, but it was very unusual for Helen not to call her and update her on any sort of plans. And so Marie with her fiance John called local hospitals to see if they can track her down, but to no avail. So they thought maybe she got hurt. They called hospitals, maybe her train was delayed, so they checked, but it wasn't delayed. They knew it was running on time and arrived on time.
That would worry you, isn't it?
Yeah, especially if she was responsible, and from what I've read, she was very responsible. She would let her family know if her plans changed or anything like that. And even though there's no cell phones, there's a lot of like
landlines.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So when Helen's brother Michael came home at 7:15, their mother got even more worried. Then not so long after that, Helen's boyfriend, the new boyfriend, Frank, arrived to take her on the date. So once Marie explained to Frank that Helen hadn't come home from work, she, Frank and John went into Liverpool to search for her.
Oh no.
And Michael, who was 19 at the time, stayed at home in case Helen came back.
Oh.
Yeah. So they went to the train station to ask around, see if anyone saw her. And the person that worked there at the time said they saw her boarding the train. So they knew she definitely boarded the train. So at that point, I guess on her stop. There were later when the police did the investigation, they appealed for witnesses, and she was on the train with someone she worked with or something. So she definitely got off on the stop she needed to get off, and then she was definitely on the bus as well, because there was a witness saying she was on the bus and she got off on her bus stop that she usually got off on.
Interesting.
Right. She pretty much made it home then.
Yeah,
Pretty much
well,
the journey,
Yeah.
almost.
So,
Yeah.
So when they didn't find any traces of Helen, Marie went into the police station to report her missing, because what else can you do, really?
Well, not much. Yeah.
No.
No.
And then, as you can imagine, because it was only a few hours, police assume maybe Helen went for a drink somewhere to wait out the storm.
I do wish police would take it a little bit more seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe they do now, but like, don't you think, like, you just wish that if I'm telling you that they would have told me, then they would have
all
told
these
me.
people like telling you this is what she's like as a person.
Yeah.
Then let them, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Because clearly she would have told them if she was going to be late. So it's just a waste of time, isn't it? Waiting.
Yeah. To be fair, to their credit, when Marie was assistant, that they start searching for her, that she's responsible and she would let them know, and she is missing. They did put out a sort of her description to patrol officers to look out for her. And then before Marie left the police station, she promised that she would call every hour for an update. And until they, started properly searching for her daughter.
Marie.
Yeah. And true to her word, Marie kept calling the station until eventually police came in the early hours of the next morning to take Helen's details and a photo of her.
Fuck's sake.
So hours later, Helen's disappearance was broadcasted on the news, and police managed to confirm that Helen did get on the bus home and got out around 5:15 p.m. and she seemed to vanish into thin air during their 400-meter walk home.
Oh wow!
So she was so close to her.
That must be though. Like, you're telling these people, you need to go and look for her, and they're just like, "Oh, we'll wait until the morning." It's like, no, because someone could easily have been murdered in that space of time.
Yeah, exactly. And then any traces of her would have been covered up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of time. Like, she could have been alive. Like, you don't know.
But obviously because she's not a child, I guess,
it's
still pretty quickly, I suppose. They didn't wait 20 or 48 hours or anything like that. So
yeah, I know, but I just wish that if you told someone this is what this person is like, and they would have told me, like, they'd listened.
Yeah.
But
I guess it's
good that they didn't wait 48 hours.
Yeah, but I guess it's sort of a thing like overzealous parents, like, oh no, my child is missing, but they'll come home a little bit later. I guess they're thinking maybe, not to waste resources on that sort of thing. And I don't know how often that
how did that work out for them?
Yeah, but to be fair, looking into this case, it wouldn't have.
Yeah, I know, but it would have made the family feel better.
Yeah. So with all the information they got from Marie, police started to interview the residents of the small village and all the witnesses. So all, like, they found, and because it was so quickly after the disappearance, obviously the information was fresh in their minds. So they had a head start, shall we say. So while being questioned by police, Sims was extremely nervous, so much so that the police officer started to suspect he had something to hide. And it could have been just purely his affair from his wife. But they had, he was so suspicious that they steered the investigation towards him and his pub.
Right.
Yeah.
So it must have been really...
You can just act strange around police because you're trying to act normal almost, and you come across acting even more weird.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that the pub was on the way, sort of on the way home from Helen's home. So
right.
it's
okay.
So she would have had to walk past it.
I think
To
so,
get
yeah,
home?
I think so, yeah. His car had been impounded and forensic testing was done on it. They found traces of Helen's blood in the car, spots of blood on the rubber seal of the boot, and a blood stain on the boot carpet.
It's not looking good for Sims.
Oh.
They also found one of Helen's opal and pearl earrings. The earring was confirmed to have belonged to Helen by her mother. The pair of those earrings has been given to Helen on her 21st birthday, and she was wearing them on the day she disappeared. Yeah. So after searching Sim's car, police moved on to the bar, specifically the little flat above it, that Sims was known to sleep in. Traces of Helen's blood were found in the flat, on the carpet at the foot of the stairs leading to the flat, on the bedroom carpet and wallpaper in the flat, and outside the side entrance, which is where the initial attack was thought to have happened.
Well, that's literally like telling you all you need to know, isn't it? Like if there's
Really?
blood, like how
On the
would that
stairs.
yeah. That doesn't just appear, does it?
No, exactly. Like, what reason would that blood have to be there?
Well, he did try to explain it away, and I'll get into that soon.
Oh, sorry.
Not the blood, but
Oh, okay.
the
I can just.
So by studying the spray pattern of the blood on the wallpaper, police believe Helen has been struck at least twice in the face. And then when talking to Crime Monthly, March 2021 issue, the one I just read, Marie recalls that when the earring was found, she spoke to police officers who found it, and I quote, "My heart fell and I asked when they would find her. One officer told me that they might never find her. At that point, I knew something really bad had happened to her."
Oh.
So I guess at that point, they haven't come out and say she probably
Well,
dead.
because they probably have. Yeah. Well, because I guess they have to keep the hope alive that she might still be alive.
Yeah, but 6 days after the disappearance, they turned their investigation to start to look for a body rather
Sort of
than
homicide rather than
murder. So just over 2 weeks later, in March, Helen's handbag and her clothing, marine scarf, top coat, navy trousers, white knickers, and green mittens, all were found on the banks of the river Irwell in Ireland. About 20 miles in the black bin liner proved to have been taken from a roll of them in Sim's pub. So apparently the investigators went to a factory and they could trace that one bin liner to the roll that it came from, and then it was from the pub because of some sort of
That's pretty good.
It's because of markings or something. I don't know the science behind it, but apparently it was accurate enough for them to use it.
Wow.
That's good.
A jacket belonging to Sims was also found along with a knotted electrical cable that Sims also admitted had come from his pub. The electrical cable had dog tooth marks that matched Sims' dog. He used it to play with his dog as a toy. And police believe this cable was used to strangle Helen.
It's not looking good, is it?
No.
Sleeves of the jacket had Helen's blood on them, and police officers also found Helen's brown head hair and a fibre from her mittens were found in the pocket of the jacket. So I think initially he denied it was his jacket, but then so either someone else said it was and then he admitted, but he eventually said it was all belonging to him. According to an independent article of 4th of March 1995 by Kathleen Moody, and I quote, "Sims tried to explain away the carpet fibers on Helen's coat by saying that she had often draped her coat over a bar stool in his pub." So he apparently had a lot of lock-ins, so that's when he would keep the bar open, locked, but keep selling alcohol and stuff, so it was illegal, and Helen would participate in those. And to carry on the quote, "This does not, however, account for the number and distribution of fibers on the back of Helen's coat, which indicated forcible contact with the carpet in Sims' flat. There were, moreover, 2 types of carpet fibres on the code, one of which was only found in Sim's flat and not in the pub. End quote.
The evidence is against that man.
Certainly is.
Yeah.
Mm,
He's looking guiltier and guiltier by the second.
yeah.
It is also it is believed, I think that pub is the only pub in that village, so because she was banned from it, it's believed that she either called or stopped by there, sort of tried to persuade not to be banned, to have her date there,
Yeah.
maybe.
Sort of try and make him
Because she was, and there's witness accounts of her colleagues saying that she was worried where her date's going to be because she was banned from the pub.
Yeah.
Right.
That's why she went there and then he to go in or whatever. Yeah. If that wasn't enough evidence, police also found fibers from Helen's brand new trousers she wore on the day she disappeared for the first time, on the stairs carpet, landing carpet, and a bedroom carpet of Sim's pub flat, indicating she was dragged upstairs after being attacked by him. So you can't really explain that away. It's the first time she wore it. So
Yeah.
that's unfortunate for him.
Fucking asshole.
Yeah.
It's worth noting here that Helen was a petite woman, where Sims was not only bigger than her, but also physically strong. Apparently, he competed in like bodybuilding competitions, and he was also an expert in Thai boxing. So
Right. So easy to overpower.
Yeah.
Police had a witness who worked in the pub's restaurant that testified she had drugging noises from above during the time of the murder. That's the only mention I found. I don't really know why she wouldn't intervene or how loud they were. Maybe she knew what they were after this all came out.
Yeah.
Also, a man came forward to say that while walking his dog along the Manchester Ship Canal in Helens Green, Warrington, he came across a blood-stained towel on the morning after Helen disappeared. He also later discovered a second towel along with several items of clothing, which also had blood on them, and the blood later was identified as coming from Helen.
God.
The jumper that was found had the logo for Labatt, which is a brand of beer that was popular at the George and Dragons pub. Sims at first denied that the clothes and other things that were found belonged to him. However, over time and with more testing, he had no choice but to admit that in fact they were his.
Like evidence after evidence from this guy, isn't there? Like,
yeah,
there couldn't be any more apart from if you had the body there.
Yeah, exactly. Or if he like put his hand up and went, "Yeah, I did it."
Yeah.
Which they don't really. Well, we'll see. Actually, I was going to say they don't really need, but we know how those cases go sometimes.
So on the 21st of February 1989, the trial, so a year after Helen disappeared, Ian Sims was kept in custody for the whole year while the investigation was going on. The trial began at Liverpool Crown Court. Marie styled her long hair to be like Helen's, as she wanted Sims to look at her and see Helen. So Helen had like distinctive curls, sort of style. So she wore it that way. So
That's so sad. Poor Marie.
Sims entered a not guilty plea, and his defense was basically that someone was framing him.
Why? Why?
Like, what?
Oh, hold on. There's more. Okay.
Yeah, well, he claimed that someone must have gotten into his pub flat, stole his clothes, wore them, and then attacked and murdered Helen, all without Sims' knowledge. And this person then stole his car to dispose of the body, and then left the stolen clothes where they could be found and incriminate Sims.
What?
Turn it off. Come on.
It's so
That's like a job to do, isn't it? Like if you wanted to kill someone, it would be easier to just do it yourself and then hide all the evidence, not try and implicate someone else, like without them knowing as well. What?
Exactly. And like, how would they get into the pub? Like, come on, Sims. Come on.
And what were their
We know
motives?
you did it.
What's their motive to like be trying to frame him?
Exactly. What do they have a long-standing hatred against him?
Yeah.
I mean, I do.
I don't think he gave a motive, but it's sort of an alternative theory that could potentially mean he's innocent. And that's why there's all these evidence left everywhere.
Oh, but come on. Come on.
To contradict that evidence, apparently where they found the clothes, this is not written down, obviously. I've listened to a podcast just before we started. Apparently where he disposed of the clothes, they were sort of muddy as well. So, and the police found the same type of mud on his like jewelry he wore on his like ring and then a watch. And one of the rings they couldn't take off, like physically, they had to do it like.
No, Joe, but someone is trying to frame him. So they obviously took it off and then put it back on his fingers without realizing.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Come on, at least come up with like a good defense, not that someone's trying to frame you. Come on.
How can you come up with?
Well, just admit that you've done it.
I think if like it would just get to the point where it's just like, just admit it, mate. We all know you did it. Like,
Yeah, like
what?
Come on.
Have a shred of decency.
So as you can imagine, Sims could not explain how this person would have known Helen would have been walking past the pub earlier than she would have normally have done so, because she finished work a little bit earlier, I think. That's why she wanted her mum to make the dinner earlier, because she had a date. So, you know, him, yes, she either got there or he saw her and called her. But the person that was planning it, how would they know?
They would have had to been following her, and they, you know, like people aren't nosy, so there would have been witnesses of like, oh yeah, someone got on the same train as her, got off at the same stop, then got off at the same bus, then walked. Do you know what I mean? Like people pick that stuff up sometimes.
Is this the days before CCTV? Is there no CCTV about in the 80s, like late 80s?
I don't think so.
Well, this was a village as well, so
Yeah.
and
you think
also
maybe on the train though, you think maybe, but
not that I came across, no.
okay.
So more than 100 witnesses were called to testify over the 3-week trial, although they, at the time, murder and the absence of a body trials were rare. The prosecution used new, for the time, DNA techniques to prove their case. So in the absence of Helen's body, forensic scientists used a new technique called familial DNA, using blood samples from her parents to compare with the blood found in Sim's apartment, on his clothes and in the boot of his car. And the odds were 126,000 to 1 that the blood was from a child of Helen's parents.
Well, so.
And it was fairly new technique at the time because it was the 80s, DNA is fairly new as well. The court has heard that Sims had a flat above the pub fitted with blackout windows and drapes, so he could have lock-ins, like I mentioned before, which probably would help him sort of did what he did and get away, or try to get away with it. The jury also heard that despite having a wife and a girlfriend, Sims boasted about sleeping with various female pub customers. That's just to show his character out, I guess, more than anything.
What a lovely man.
It just sounds so gross, doesn't it?
And I've looked at the picture and nothing special.
No.
I mean, he was okay, but I just don't understand. Maybe because of his build, I don't think I've seen the picture of his whole body because I didn't go that far.
Oh yeah, maybe like some people do really like the bodybuilder thing, don't they? So I personally don't, but
I mean, he was the type of person that in his 30s he was dating an 18-year-old. So.
Well, he was married with children.
Yeah, well, that too.
Not married to children, so with like married and had kids. Just to clarify, yes.
It wasn't quite.
Although an 18-year-old, you could argue that that's a child, really. But
yeah, I suppose at least it's legal.
Yeah.
But
Really,
still gross.
very. It was revealed that Sims came and went from his pub flat all evening on 9th of November. He also backed his car up to the door to shield him from view, so he's not seen him putting anything in the car. When his girlfriend arrived that night to spend some time with Sim, as they usually do, so, and by that I mean sex, she found the flat locked and he wasn't around. And he said he called her earlier to say he's gonna be a little later, so she should come around 8. But when he finally showed up at 10, he had scratches on his throat. So when he was questioned about, like, by police about the scratches, he said that there was 2 versions of it. So he said that they were from his wife because she found out about the affair, and his wife was like, Well, why would you use that as an excuse? Because that's so like, it's
the other person's got to like know about it as well, haven't they? Otherwise it's not going to hold up.
Yeah, otherwise it's not a very good excuse, hon.
He also said that they were from that fight that happened, and he separated the girls. But his girlfriend was like,
Oh my god, honestly, he just and
also he was looked at by an expert, and it said it definitely is not like it's
like defense ones.
It was fairly fresh, not as old as you would say.
Okay.
So it was 2 days before she disappeared. They looked at it, let's see, probably a day after. So
let's just
I guess
say
you could tell what healing stages is.
He's not the brightest.
No, he's not. I was about to say that, yeah.
Like he's just not realizing that, like you said, for a lie to work, the other person has to know about the lies, and they can lie too.
Well, I don't think he knew much about. Obviously, not a lot of people knew much about like DNA at the time or anything like that. Because when questioned about the blood, he said it was from his dog. Yeah, but obviously then it was.
Honestly, honestly, thick as shit. Yes, he is, Emily.
The steroid addled his brain.
Maybe.
Probably
because he was a bodybuilder.
Yeah, the aggression.
Yeah. Potentially. Oh. Didn't even think about that.
Not saying don't use steroids, by the way, because I know they don't, but it's just saying.
But it was the 80s, so it was more common, I guess.
Yeah.
With my limited knowledge.
Sort of as well known, I guess, maybe.
So after his girlfriend left, Sim's car has been seen driving fast in Warrington, 30 miles away. A delivery driver testified that he saw lights blazing in the pub at 5 a.m. And also it was revealed that the following day, people saw Sim scrubbing his pub clean, which was out of character. The pub was usually cleaned up in the morning rather than in the evening, I guess, as usual pubs do, I guess. And Sims was always asleep at that time, and the person that cleans the pub, when they came in and saw Sims cleaning it, they were a bit taken aback because they didn't expect him there. But he
not exactly conspicuous, is he?
He really isn't.
He explained it by saying that his dog sort of made a mess, as in like I get to shit himself there, and that's why he was cleaning it.
No, it doesn't take that long to clean up dog shit.
No.
But it seems like the dog was getting blamed for everything.
Yeah, like the poor dog has done nothing here, and is getting blamed for literally everything.
Dog's just like, cheers.
Yeah, the dog's like, I'm not going to prison for you. What are you doing?
Yeah. So as a defense about fibers and DNA of Helens that's been found in his flat, he said that months earlier, he and Helen kissed and cuddled consensually, but it didn't go any further than that. And
of course.
And apparently that was done while his girlfriend was sleeping in the next room. That's what I've heard.
Well, he's a real womanizer.
I don't believe that happened at all, because
because Helen had a date to go on, like that she was excited about, and she didn't like him because he
that was
her
months
from
before.
I know,
when she had an old boyfriend as well, because she recently split up her boyfriend.
Well, I know. And also, it doesn't really seem like she had much of a relationship with Sims in terms of like even friendship, plus like normal landlord, pub landlord.
Seen him around, probably
Yeah.
talked to him once or twice or whatever.
Yeah, but not.
Just owns the pub, that's it, that's their relationship. She goes to the pub, he owns the pub, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on 15th of March, the jury deliberated for about 5.5 hours, and the jury found Sims guilty of Helen's murder.
Good.
And he was sentenced to life in jail with a minimum term of 16 years. So he would be eligible for parole in 2001, I believe, early 2000. In 1999, Sims challenged the findings of the DNA evidence that linked him to the crime, and improved DNA technology now suggested the odds against the blood not being Helen's were 9 million to 1. So
Definitely her blood.
It got even better. So
yeah, right.
Yeah. Despite all the evidence, Sims have always maintained his innocence.
Well, of course he did, though. He was never going to admit that he did it.
No.
Was he? Like, he was never going to be like, oh, you know what, guys? I know I lied a lot, but I want to come clean. I actually did it. Like, he wouldn't say that, would he?
No. It's not his character. He's too much of a coward.
Yeah. Coward, but also really confident in himself, thinking that he's smarter than everyone else.
Because he's a man.
And just because, like, the fact that he just goes into all these lies, thinking, oh, they're too stupid to realise that I'm lying.
Yeah.
When in fact he's too stupid to realise how ridiculous the lies are.
Yeah.
And how easy the bank they could be.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, he's still alive, so.
Oh.
Maybe I shouldn't slander him.
It's not slander, though. Allegedly, he's very stupid. Well, do you know, actually, no. Come at me, bro. Come on. What you, like...
Yeah, right. You are stupid. I've said it. You're a stupid man.
Then try to get out of it by stupid excuses.
True. So after the trial, Helen's family tried to find out where Sims left her body. Mary wrote to him in prison, but received a reply proclaiming his innocence and threatening retribution when he was released.
Oh, so that doesn't sound like a very innocent man.
No.
Threatening retribution.
Yeah, he's not showing any sympathy or like empathy towards the victim's, like, family. So chances are you're not an innocent party.
Exactly. Like, you'd be, I don't know, maybe I expected him to maybe be a bit more like, I'm so sorry for your loss.
He never apologized or anything.
But,
because obviously he's innocent.
No, I know, but like, he didn't, like, I'm so sorry for your loss. But unfortunately, the wrong man's been convicted, blah, 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 blah. Not, fuck you, I'm gonna come out and fucking fuck up your life.
Maybe that's the type of person he is. And that he could have done those things, and that he did do those things.
Exactly.
Well, I don't have them here, but Marie never really revealed the whole letter, but years later she would say a few quotes from it. So the article that I read, it sort of said allegedly, because obviously she wouldn't show the proof of the letter, which she doesn't of how horrible it was, but it was just like saying, oh, when I'm out, like paraphrasing obviously, saying, oh, when I'm out, watch out, or tell Mike, Helen's brother, that I'll see him around or whatever, and stuff like that. So basically,
what a horrible man, allegedly.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, he's probably a horrible man anyway.
Yeah. So, but she's never going to release the letter, so we'll never know for sure. But I believe her. I do believe. Like, why?
She has no reason to lie, really.
Exactly.
She's already lost everything, pretty much. Well, I mean, I know she has her son, but
but
Still, she lost one of her kids.
Yeah.
So in 2004, Sims applied for his first parole and he was refused. He also gave no details about where Helen is. And from then he would obviously he would have a parole hearing like every year or every couple of years or something. And Marie always attended and was always hoping that he would say where her daughter
Well,
is.
yeah, because it must be so like you can't bury her.
She can't bury her.
can't
She has
say
nowhere to
goodbye.
go to sort of
Mourn
be with
her.
her, mourn her, talk to her, and
Yeah, just know your child's body is just dumped somewhere. It's just horrible.
I'd like to imagine it was buried in like a nice field and it's surrounded by flowers. God knows where she is.
Yeah, that's so cruel. I hate when
Really is,
murderers
yeah.
do that. It's so cruel. Just you've already done the horriblest thing you can do. But again, it goes back to power. Like, I'm not going to tell you where she is. Like, I know, but you'll never know.
Yeah.
Unless he can't, because
He doesn't remember.
no, because maybe he sort of disposed of it in like a river and went somewhere like.
But I guess he could
Maybe.
still say, like, I disposed of it here.
Yeah.
Current could have taken it anywhere.
In July 2008, a marble bench was placed in the grounds of St Mary's Church in Billinge to mark Helen's 43rd birthday to honour her memory. In February 2013, a memorial mass was held on Helen's 25th anniversary, or the anniversary of her disappearance. In October the same year, after receiving a tip-off, police exhumed a grave behind St Aidan's Church in Billinge. Tip-off said that Helen's body might have been placed inside an open grave that was prepared for burial. Unfortunately, the exhumation showed that Helen's body had not been placed there.
I don't think he'd be that clever, you know.
I don't either. No.
I wouldn't even give him credit to be that clever.
Did they search like nearby rivers and stuff? You know, like diving and things. They did.
So they did a lot of searches, and Marie also, and I think she financed digs and stuff in certain places. But unfortunately,
Were there a lot of farms around?
I don't know.
You'd think so, like, well,
If it's a
rural,
village, I would say so, yeah.
Just because I'm wondering, you know, obviously like pigs.
Yeah.
The podcast that I listened to, there was a theory that allegedly he had a friend that worked in, a home or morgue or somewhere, and they had incinerator, and he from time to time put like his pub rubbish there or something just to get rid of them.
I'm sure that's not allowed.
Well, no. So like there is a theory floating that maybe that's what happened, but then on the other hand, the clothes have been found, and why wouldn't he do that with a long?
Oh yeah, that's a bit strange, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
But that was just on one of the theories on the podcast, so I don't know how true that is. Yeah. So as Sims never disclosed where he took Helen's body, all of that fueled Marie to create a change. In December 2015, Marie started a petition named Helen's Law, asking the murderers to be denied parole until they disclosed the whereabouts of their victims, and also that would also later include child molesters not disclosing the names of the victims that were pictured in illegal images that they were incarcerated for. So hundreds of thousands of people signed a petition, but Sims was still recommended by the parole board to be moved to an open prison in January 2016. So I just don't understand, even though he never admitted to the crime,
why is he still in prison? I thought you said he's going to come out in 2001.
That was the first parole.
Oh,
he's been denied parole.
Okay. So wait. So when is
he's been to life and minimum of 16 years?
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I thought we just meant 16 years, and I can't do maths, so I couldn't work that out. But okay. So he just keeps being denied parole.
Yeah, but now he's been moved to an open prison, which I guess is one of the first steps to getting parole. Maybe that's what I gather.
I mean, personally, I don't. It's quite interesting, actually. I'm doing this in chronology at the moment about how prisons don't work as deterrents of crime, because they don't, because crime still happens. These things still happen. People don't get deterred. And also, I know that these are criminals, but the inhumane conditions that some of them are left in are quite horrible. But anyway,
it makes things worse, doesn't it? It makes people worse.
It does, because their mental health deters so much and stuff that, like,
because they're focusing on punishment rather than rehabilitation.
Yeah,
I guess,
and I mean, I guess you can't rehabilitate everyone. Not every prisoner is going to be rehabilitated.
But I feel like there should be a balance of punishment and rehabilitation, because,
like, their punishment is they're already being taken away from society. They're already being locked up. That is their punishment. Their freedoms are being taken away
and restricted.
Yeah.
Therefore, I think,
see those prisons in, I don't know, it's like Switzerland, somewhere over that.
Prisons,
where they are actually like
they're rehabilitation centres.
Yeah.
People go and study, people go and do work, and like it like prepares them to go back.
One of the things.
And the reoffending rate is really low, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's really low, and the reoffending rate is quite high still in the UK.
Yeah.
So prisons don't really work as a deterrent of crime, and I know they make people feel better because we're putting people away, but
they will come out.
They'll come out and they'll just commit the same crimes, especially like petty, like theft or you know, drug abuse or like anything like that. Unless they're rehabilitated, when they come out, they're just going to do the same, because they're already going to hate the society because they've put them in prison in the first place.
Yeah.
But that's beside the point. Sorry, that was a bit of a rant about how I don't think prisons work. But anyway, going back to Helen's law. But that's a good law, though.
Yeah,
that's very good. Yeah. That you will not be granted parole until you tell us what the victims are, or the names of the.
I mean, you convicted already, so you are guilty. So you say you're innocent.
Yeah, I mean,
the only instance where that wouldn't be a good thing is if you were actually innocent and you were wrongly in prison.
Yeah. I don't know how often does that happen these days, because of this all the science and stuff.
Of evidence,
like CCTV, like all the things they can do.
Yeah.
I don't know so much now. I know there's a lot of cases, especially in the US, that innocent people spend years in prison and stuff.
It's hard though, isn't it? Because even nowadays, if you look good for a crime, they can still spin the evidence to fit around you and still fuck up an investigation because they're concentrating on one person. So, like, I guess that probability never goes.
I guess that's why you have the innocence projects and stuff like that.
Yeah, and Amnesty International and stuff, and all these organisations that help wrongfully convicted people.
So hopefully it's less likely.
Hopefully.
Yeah. But it is a good law, especially I would say the child molesters as well.
Yeah.
That was a good addition to it as well.
Yeah, definitely.
And so Marie presented her petition in Downing Street in April 2018, and even though she had help from MP Conor McGinn, and the bill was going through several readings, what's called the Prisoners' Disclosure of Information About Victims Bill, that Helen's Law, failed to be ratified before Parliament went to general election.
When the general election
was called, sorry, I just missed that.
So it's not an actual law at the moment.
Not in 2008 because of
18
politics. Yeah, 2018 because of government changing at the time. So that's not
that long ago.
Yeah. No, it's not. No,
that's not that long ago.
No, but I've got updates. Don't worry.
Sorry, but I always feel like, when you always hear like 1980s and 1970s, and you're like, oh my god, that was ages ago. It's actually not.
Well, I think because of the age of the
victim,
not necessarily the victim as well. So the parents are still alive, but the murderers and the convicted person, he was 30 something. So he was fairly young as well.
So he'll be in his 50s now, won't he? Because there's been 60s. Can't do maths.
I'm not even going to try.
Get a calculator, work it out. he's older than he was, obviously.
Yeah.
Age. Anyway.
Yes. Unfortunately, by autumn 2018, Sims was allowed on unescorted weekend release. And after learning that the parole board was considering Sims being suitable for release in 2019, Murray launched a legal challenge to keep him in jail. Obviously, her argument was she never got her daughter back. Like, what are you doing, sort of thing. However, in January 2020, the decision to release Sims was upheld, and that February, Sims was basically on like around anniversary of Helen's disappearance, Sims was released without disclosing what he did to Helen's body. And to make the matters even worse, Murray was ordered to pay Helen's murderer legal bills that amounted to $40,000.
What?
After failing.
Wow.
Because she brought the legal action against him, and he sort of won.
That's
the judge
ridiculous.
decided that she needs to pay his
Well,
legal bills
the
too.
judge is wrong.
That's
That's
fucking
a bit
disgusting, isn't it?
Anything else?
That seems so horrible.
That's so unfair.
Really bad. God.
Well, I hope he enjoyed lockdown.
Oh, yeah.
That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's actually disgusting that they made her pay $40,000 after she was just trying to keep the killer of her child in prison
Until
because
she
he wouldn't
knows.
tell her when her body was. Like, just tell her at this point. I know you're pleading innocence, but no one believes you, hon, so just tell us. Sorry. Just tell us.
Horrid. Like rubbing salt in like wounds, isn't it? Almost.
It really is.
It's heartbreaking. That's what it is. In November 2020, Helen's law was given royal assent, and it was signed into the statute books on 4th of January 2021, which was 2 months ago.
Oh my god, that was 2 months ago.
Yeah. The legislation places a statutory obligation on the parole board to take into account an offender's non-disclosure of certain information when making a decision about their release from prison. It applies to prisoners serving a sentence for murder or manslaughter, or for taking or making an indecent photograph of a child. Unfortunately, this happened too late to give Helen's family any hope of finding out where she is. Sims still proclaims his innocent, and this is why he will never reveal where Helen's body is, because he's like, didn't do it. So
yeah, he just shit basically.
Yeah, and obviously because even though he served his time, like saying where her body is would mean he was guilty.
Yeah,
he deserved what he got, sort of.
Well, he did. Yes, he was.
Yeah. In the Crime Monthly article, Murray says she has never lost hope of finding her baby girl. And I quote, "My husband and I, when we are on our walks, we will sometimes say, did we look there properly? It never goes away. It's always there. I'm grateful for Helen's law, but it has to mean something. Parole judges will have to consider it." I guess it's up to them to sort of make those decisions, and it is a law. So, they have to take into account, and who knows.
So,
and even though it won't help her, it will help others. Others. It's like, the ones that still don't know what happened to their loved ones. People are still in prison for, or
it just
the
makes
future
me,
ones. So.
It just makes me really angry though, because although yes, he served all this time in prison, I just think he never fully, like, he didn't tell anyone where Helen's body was, and because he kept pleading his innocence, I think some people would have believed that he was innocent. So he was, so like, now he has to come
that time in prison, but he's at the same time not paid for his crime, has he?
Because exactly.
Still paying his innocence.
And now he's out and he gets to enjoy the rest of his life, whatever quality that may be. And Helen doesn't, and her parents don't, because they will never have peace, and neither will his sister. And it's just horrible. And really, it's just horrible. Yes.
So that's it. That's all I have.
It just happens too often.
It does.
These things happen too often.
It is sort of on topic from what we said before in your episode, and about what's happening as well. So that was in 1980s, and she was not far away from home.
Same as Sarah,
and it just seems exactly the same. Really.
Yeah.
It's just such a similar circumstances. I mean, she knew him, but still, it's just she was on her way home. It wasn't that late. It was winter, so it was a bit dark.
It sounds like you're just like gonna take her and murder her because I feel like it today, essentially.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna think that I can lie my way out of it because I'm a man and I'm so much smarter than everyone else is. Oh my God, it just infuriates me. These things shouldn't happen.
No.
Seems the reason for it, like,
just seems so futile.
It
like
just seems like he killed
there
her
was no
because she
reason.
was gossiping about his affair, but
it's not even that though. Like, it's not even that. Like, he killed her because she literally felt like it.
Yeah, it just seems like there's a lot of petty reasons.
I reckon what happened is she went, or he saw her, whatever, and wanted to, like, she wanted to just, you know, like, have a clean break and sort of be like, oh, let's be all right. I want to come to the pub.
It's the only pub.
And then he maybe made a pass on her or something. She rejected him, so then he thought, well, I'm still going to take it.
So
and then obviously it escalated because she then would have fought back, and then he thought, well, I can't let her go now.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to believe it's not like a sexually motivated crime, isn't it?
Yeah,
but then
it
there's
really
is. No, but
especially because of the advances he made, and you know, and all the background of sleeping with his clients and customers and having a girlfriend and a wife.
It kind of goes to show
like it's all about sex for him.
And also, like, the lack of respect for women is really apparent, you know, and just thinking women are possessions that he can own. It's just so sad. This is very sad. Yeah, well, I hope one day, Sims, you grow some balls and tell people and tell her family where Helen is.
That's all you can hope for, really, in these things, isn't it? You're never going to get actual justice because you can't really get justice for someone's life being taken, even if that person does go to prison for the rest of their life. Still, that person's still been murdered.
Yeah.
There's no getting around that. Yeah.
Like, her mum is in her 70s, 75. I just have a bad feeling she'll never find out.
No, she probably won't, because he'll never tell. Unless, and I think it's because it's that, well, I know, you don't know, and until you don't know, I can pretend I'm innocent.
Yeah.
I do hope she'll be found, but it just seems like they've searched a lot, and also, like, her parents do their own, like, paid digs and, like, searching and stuff, so
it takes over your life.
It's just, it does. That's the thing, isn't it? It does take over these people's lives, because your kid has been taken away from you, so you're not going to stop until you die.
Your kid.
Yeah, either your kid or you die.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
this was very sad, Jo, but thanks.
Yeah, I just thought
it's good to bring it out to the public.
Yes,
it is, because I hadn't heard of this one. The one I thought you were doing is different thing entirely, so I didn't know about this one.
I only know about it because I read an article about it. So I haven't, you know.
And do you know what's so sad? There's probably so many hundreds, thousands of cases like this, and we've never heard of them.
England only, and so much more.
Yeah, so much more all over the world, and we never heard of them because there's just so many.
Yeah,
they're too common.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Hope our family gets some peace.
Okay, so that was my case. I hope you found it interesting. Do you have any thoughts, comments? Let us know. get in touch, recommend us. I don't know what else do I say.
Well, thank you very much, Joe. That was a very good case. Thanks for everyone for listening. And like Joe was trying to say, if you have any cases you'd like us to cover, please give us a shout. We will cover them. And also, if you have any comments regarding this case, also get in touch. Feel free. Stay safe out there. It's a scary world, and it could happen to anyone, and it could happen anytime, and you just don't know. It could be.
Yeah.
So
That is
just
the scary part.
that is the scary part. Man, woman, any, whatever you identify as, just stay safe. So yes, so thanks girls for listening. Anyway. Thanks, Joe.
Thank you, Joe.
I just want to say bye now.
Goodbye.
Bye.